Welcome, everyone. I just wanted to do a weekly update, especially since this is a big one. If you haven't heard, we got hit kind of hard with nerfs, and there is a bright side. We did get a few buffs too, but let's get into the bad stuff first. All long guns have been nerfed at least 10%. Everything has been 10% except for Um, the Lip Hickory 3s, which everybody knew those were going to get nerfed, they were nerfed 15%. And then the big one, too, that people are probably going to be upset about also is the Dardanelles also got nerfed 15%, which it's pretty hard. But, um, you know, stuff happens. There's quite a few furniture pieces that got nerfed. All the main ones that everybody uses, Tullian's Guidance, Mark of the Wolf,
There's trouble brewing.
basically everything that has to do with explosion or everything that everybody used in PvP. So, um, yeah, we got hit pretty hard, but it's not an all failure. There is some good stuff. We did get some buffs, which are a couple of them are pretty good. Like demi cannons got 15% buff. There's some ships that got buffed, and that's the Carpenter, not the Shipwright. So at the Shipwright,
What will it be? More cargo? More
the
navigation? Or more firepower?
Hulk got a buff. Its stats got increased. So it's more usable. I mean, it was fine before, but apparently not enough people were using it, so they gave it a little buff to get people to use it. Another one that is one of my favorite little ships is the Barge. The Barge got a buff. This thing applies the ablaze effect to ship will apply the same effect to all enemies in a radius of 125 meters. Increase weapon damage by 35%. It used to be 20. Burning damage increases ablaze charge speed by 175%, which is insane. It used to be 150. So, I mean, the wildfire perk got a nice buff, and that's a fun little ship to use. I've had a lot of people ask me, just starting out and you're newer and you're in small ships and what ship to use. So my recommendations are the Badar. Obviously, you start in that one. If you rank that thing up, it is a very good little ship, surprisingly. The Hulk is okay. I've used it. But I would recommend, there's 3 ships out of the 5 that I would recommend. And it is the Badar, which would be the last one. And then what you want to work your way up to would be the Barge. The Barge is a great little, it's a sledgehammer. It hits hard. Especially with that new buff, it's going to hit really hard. I've already tested it, but it hits hard. The only drawback to it is basically the lack of weapons. It's like if you're using long guns or bombards, or torpedoes or whatever, a top deck weapon, you only get 2 ports instead of 3. So, I mean, even so, it's still a fun little ship to use. I use it a lot. It's very, very, very hard hitting for a little tiny thing like that. But the best ship out of all of them is the Sloop. The Sloop is a fantastic ship. It is my number 1 go-to PvP ship. I use it all the time for PvP. Been using it forever. It's just a fantastic ship. If you level that thing up, that thing will take on anything. So that is my recommendation. What you need to work to, I wouldn't bother with the Cutter or the Hulk. I would stay in the Badar until you're able to get the Barge. And if you could stay in the Badar and not even get the Barge and get the Sloop, that's what I would do. I would save all your resources on these 3 ships, but this one is really fun. I do like it, and I do recommend it. But if you can hold off and get the Sloop, then you're good. You're golden, because that thing is great. So after that, the Padawan is a great ship. Um, I use it. I still use it a lot. We used to use it for fort busters, but everybody's kind of gotten away from that. We've gotten better ships for that stuff now, but it's still the Patty is still a viable ship. The Snow is a very good ship. It's just a tank. It doesn't have a whole lot of DPS to it. It does have a whole lot of hull health though. Highest hull health in the game, but it's a decent ship. I'm not a huge fan of the tanks, but it'll work for you, that's for sure. The Brigantine is one of my favorites. Great ship. Highly recommend grabbing one. Sambuck is another. If you want DPS, that thing's all DPS. The only problem is it's got a very light hull, so you just need to be careful with it. The Bark is, it's okay. I'm not going to say it's great. It's great for a healing ship. It is fantastic for a healing ship, actually. But I'm more towards DPS, and this ship just doesn't put out the DPS. It does heal itself, but they nerfed that a couple seasons ago, so it doesn't do it as well as it used to. The Brig got a buff as well, and you know I've tried to like this ship because it is fast and it is agile, but it just I can't get it to put out the DPS that I like on it. It is great for a healer though. If you're looking for a healing ship, I would highly recommend this one. Actually, with the new buffs and everything, I would recommend that one over the Bark. And then we got one of my favorite ships of all time. I absolutely love this Battle Junk. It is a tank, but it's a DPS tank. It is very, very good ship. I love it. Great ship. Garuda. Unfortunately, it's been nerfed into the ground, but it still produces. Um, so if you're looking for a sniper, that is your go-to right there. That thing is great for sniping. And then the Schooner, best all-around ship in the game, hands down. Can't beat it. DPS, it's just a monster. Fort Buster, monster. It's just, like I said, the best overall ship in the game. Fantastic. The only thing I do wish about it is it had a little bit better speed and better handling. Its agility isn't very good at all. But other than that, I mean, it's just an absolute monster. So if you can get your hands on that, hopefully you got it out of the pass. And if you have that ship, you're good to go anyway. You just focus on, that's another thing too, focus on one ship at a time. Do not try to overextend yourself by building a couple ships at a time. You'll never get it done. You'll be pulling your hair out trying to get resources to build these things. Work on one ship at a time. If you got this out of the pass, that's what I would concentrate on. Concentrate on the Schooner. Other than that, we've got a buff to the torpedoes. They got a little love. We didn't get a buff in the torpedoes exactly in the torpedoes. We got it in the furniture, but we did get a buff. And I can show you that right now. I pulled that up. I've got a torpedo build right here that we can check out. So I went with an electric flooding build, and I put Divine Winds on front and back. And they have explosive and electric, obviously. And then I went with Rupturing to get the ship that I'm using is a Brigantine, so you get 20% extra damage after the ship is flooded, which is easy to do in a Brigantine because all you have to do is ram it and it instantly floods whatever you hit. So you get 20% extra damage after the ship is flooded. So any weapon that has flooding on it is going to get 20% more damage. So you put Rupture or any kind of flood on your Divine Thunder or Divine Winds, excuse me. And then I went with Heavenly Lance just because I'm doing electric, so these are fantastic for electric. Electric 3, 30% damage. And obviously they also have flooding since they're a torpedo. So I went with Rupture, Amplified Electric, and Long Arm to get that 54.1% more damage at 70% of the range, which most of the time you're there anyway, especially in a brigantine, because you're cruising around, you're not faced right next to each other. So, and obviously Heavenly Lance on the other side, and then this is something I've been playing with. These are the normal spring loader, which is nobody even pays attention to because it was garbage. But with it being ascended, it actually does some pretty good work out there. So I put flooding, I put flood on it, and it's not rolled exactly the way I wanted. I have to change that Victor's rally, but I'm out of that. I'm out of Ascension mods and upgrade parts and stuff like that. So, but the second storm is definitely what I wanted on it. So that's the only thing that I cared about, and it does good work. So if you want to go check it out, let's go check it out. I am in Tier 1 because I wanted to do this for newer people, just to check out. But this is definitely a Tier 2 ship. I was running it in there yesterday. Runs great in Tier 2. Sorry about that. I will show you the armor, the armor and the furniture when I'm done with this. Not a good showing of torpedoes on that one. Didn't really get a chance to use them, but let's see if we can do this in 4 minutes. Yeah, so both tuning stations, the Hubach and the other tuning station for the torpedoes, which absolutely slipped my mind at the moment, they both got a buff so that the torpedoes are faster, they hit harder. I do like the Endless Requiems because they are homing, so. But I hit him with 2 broadside torpedoes and 2 Divine Winds, and he's already at half health, so that's looking pretty good. It's so nice how they revamped the Brigantine. We don't have to keep shoveling food the entire time to have stamina. I mean, look at my stamina. Stamina can do fantastic. So. Torpedoes hit hard now. Take it in and I'll show you the armor and the furniture. Since I forgot to do that, I apologize. Oh, another one is that got a buff is the Carronades. The Carronades got a buff as well. So we have Demi Cannons, which is a huge one because the Phoenix Talons are just ridiculous now. You could actually throw that on this build too and just put flooding on it. Those things hit so hard now. Okay. So I am running the Pasasha armor for the ramming. Ramming target repairs your ship's hull health by 138% of the damage inflicted. It's great armor. It's just tailor-made for the brigantine. It's great. I know of other people that have used it on other ships too, and it works just as well. So if you like ramming into stuff, it's a good one. So I went with the bilge fire barrels for the increased secondary damage of broadside weapons by 10% and increases broadside weapon damage by 5%. And then, like I said, um, the Hubak tuning rack, we got a buff on this where the maximum range of torpedoes was, it increased it, I believe before it was 8%. Now it's 14%, and reduces arming distance of torpedo weapons by 25%, and I do believe that used to be 20%. And then the projectile speed of the torpedoes by 10%, and I think that was 8%. So everything went up on that. The Hubak tuning station, increased secondary damage of torpedoes. I cannot remember what it was before. I'm guessing it was 10%. Now it's 20. Increases projectile speed of torpedoes by 13%. That used to be 8%. It restores 10% crew stamina per second while out of combat. And I believe that was 8% as well. So, good buffs on it. It actually made the torpedoes a little bit more useful. I'm not a huge torpedo fan, but this build works really well. So we've got those two, and then I also put on the machinist table for the mines. Gives us increases minefield buoy damage by 20% and increases area of operation radius of minefield buoys by 20%. Then I also have, obviously, the Ramrod Workshop, which got nerfed. It got cut in half. The broadside decreases reload time of broadside weapons by 7%. It used to be 15%. It increases secondary damage dealt by broadside weapons by 8%, and it used to be, I think it was 10. So, little hit there, but that's all right. It still does good job of increasing weapons. So it's not a total loss. Then I put Torpedo Works on there for the extra 19% in secondary damage, since we have so much secondary damage now with the Ascensions. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a good build. It's fun. Like I said, I'm not a huge torpedo fan, but it definitely works. And I think that's going to just about do it for this one, guys. If you have any questions, just hit me up and let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, have a good day.